Sorry, I can't see if someone's seeing this. I don't see anything. All right, now it's finally working. Um, hey, all, welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, one of the things I made a resolution, New Year's resolution early in the year was I would do a live a live stream at least for every week, at least once a week, at least. And so far, I've been living up to it so far. And like honestly, I mean, I've got a couple more weeks to go before the end of the year, so I'm living up to one actual New Year's resolution. But in any case, um, not much to talk about. I mean, honestly, no, not much to talk about. I mean, there can be quite a few things, but honestly, it's kind of weird. I think you saw my stream about the fact that I was talking about not stream, but my one of my earlier videos about Shohei Ohtani signing with the Dodgers. I mean, now that affects everything for me, honestly. Well, not affects everything, but it affects the Mets, me as a Mets fan, because well, that's pretty much it. Not much else I can do. The Mets seemed like they weren't going to make a play for it, which I'm surprised they weren't. The fact that they're hoping on Yamamoto, it's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna happen. Even though Cohen went there personally, I thought maybe if they traded for Soto, they could keep him, but it doesn't work out. My only hope now is Soto does really well with the Yankees and enjoys New York, that he's willing to stay in New York when the Mets make him an offer in 2025 or 2024 at the end of 2024 season. But chances are, if he extends with the big part is like he might extend with the Yankees. What the Yankees do, I don't know what they will do at that point as well, too. Quite honestly, because they could just like get rid of what's his face, Mike Stanton, or not Mike Stanton, whatever is Giancarlo Stanton. They might just get rid of him at this point because, like, honestly, there's no purpose. Maybe keep Judge because they already signed Judge, so there's no real purpose to going losing at that point. Um, it's it's a weird thing, to say the least. Uh, I'm trying. Sorry, I'm just reading some quick news here. Of course, there's this whole thing with Duet AI and such, or Gemini. I haven't really gotten into it. I would love to get into it. When I get into it, I'll probably get a little bit more deeper into it and figure out like how it works out in that situation. But yeah, I mean, tonight the Giants play, so it'll be interesting to see how the Giants come off today. And playing against the Green Bay Packers. But if Love turns out to be a really good quarterback, I expect the Giants to lose, of course. Most of them as a Monday night, Monday QB, couch QB. You saw half my picks. Pretty much, not do bueno, basically. Quite honestly, I mean, well, that's not entirely true. That is not entirely true. Let me be upfront. I mean, honestly, with the schedules, I mean, didn't expect the Texans to lose to the Jets like that. I think I did say too. I did say the Ravens were going to win. Unfortunately, they didn't cover. I did say I thought the Indianapolis Colts were going to win. They didn't. I did say pick the. I think I did say pick the Browns to win. I didn't expect the Bears to win against the Lions. That was a shocker. Panthers losing, that was going to be given. Minnesota barely winning like 3-0. That was a surprise. I mean, wasn't sure about the Seahawks and 49ers. Was pretty sure about the Broncos. The Bills, I think I called it. I pretty much called and said that the Bills were going to win. The one thing that did surprise me was the Cowboys and Eagles. But I thought the Eagles were going to win for sure. But whoa, that was wrong. I figured the Bills were going to win. But you know what? It's true that part of the calls were related to the referees affecting the game a little bit. But I'm not sure how that works out. Now, today's going to be an interesting Monday Night Football game. You got the Giants and Packers playing on ABC and the Dolphins and Titans playing on ESPN. That'll be interesting to see how that works because the two games going at the same time, both national. What are people going to go for? That's a little surprising. Why did that? I'm like, wait, you're going to have two games at the exact same time, national TV, but two different channels. I'm like, probably people are probably going to go to the Dolphins game versus the Giants game. But honestly, I think people will go watch the Packers game for those that don't have cable. Probably the Packers because they probably want to see Love at this point, honestly. Because I'm kind of curious. I mean, Jordan Love, Love himself is like a pretty much seems like he's doing really well. He's doing really well. Um, and I'll tell you that, yeah, I don't know. And then of course there's the whole I don't know. All right, this whole thing with the Knicks, the New York Knicks, and it looks like my rants are going to be sports related. The New York Knicks, as far as Kenny Smith's argument or Kenny Smith's comment that he made the day that the night that the Knicks lost the attorney to Milwaukee. Basically, the whole thing was like they have no stars on the court. Charles Barkley agreed. Almost everyone agreed except for the Knicks themselves. Like, well, no, that's wrong. We got players. Yes and no. Let's put it this way. I'm a Knicks fan. In the past, we had Ewing. We knew they were going to do really well. I mean, like there was times where like the Knicks were feared when they got on court. Now, when teams are going, so it's like, okay, we just got to play really well. We should have them. We just got to play really well. I mean, honestly. Sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry. Hello? 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 I can't hear. Yeah, the Knicks basically. Sorry, I had to answer the phone. It was just I had to go walk. So, anyways, with the fact that the Knicks have no one, I mean, you could say, yo, Brunson and Randall, they're complementary players. They're not superstars. They might be an all star, but in reality, they're not all stars because like they just happen to be doing well. All Obi Toppin, they thought he was going to be the pick for him. No, Halliburton. I mean, the Knicks goofed up on that. Look what he's done. He's shown up and he's showing what he is now. I think that in game turning was his coming out to show how really of a good player he was. With the Brunson, again, he's not a superstar. He's not. He's close to your all star, but like honestly, he's more of a case of like he's that complimentary. He's like the Pippen. We need a Jordan, but we don't have a Pip. We don't have a Jordan. He's the Pippen to the Knicks. Brando's not your Jordan. R.J. Barrett, I hate to say it, but he is not your superstar. Unfortunately, I mean he might be better than Zion Williamson because he's not better than Zion Williamson. It's worth case. At least he shows he has more. I don't want to say charisma, but more activity. He's more energetic, at least. He's more into the games themselves versus Zion Williamson, not looking at it. The only question is, unfortunately, Barrett doesn't have the proper skill sets to become that superstar. You figured he would have been there, but he's not, unfortunately. So the next hope is what do you do? Because if you're going to be in the middle of the pack, you're not going to get good players. Your only hope is to get free agents, but who are you going to get? Because now Giannis signed with Milwaukee. Embiid is going to be with Philadelphia. I mean, honestly, I don't know what the Knicks do unless something changes dramatically to the point where like someone comes up and like busts out, out of the blue. It's not happening. I mean, you're gonna have to go through either Boston or Philadelphia, most likely Boston in this case, but or Milwaukee, or Milwaukee for that matter, because like they had a shot, to get Lillard, but they did it. They had a shot to get Donovan Mitchell, they didn't. That was one thing I think they should have done. If they had gotten if they had gotten Donovan Mitchell, he and Randall with him, and Brunson together, all three of those together, I think they would have been fearful. I thought they could have been on the top four, but right now they're probably the top five, top six, top seven team at all, and they're not going to get past Boston. You have no way of getting past Boston unless the Knicks find someone on the international market that they can bring over. I don't think that's happening. It would be interesting to see if you could do that, but I doubt that's going to be the case unless they could find someone in the G League that they could sign as a free agent. I don't think that's happening either, unfortunately. So it's one of those things where with the Knicks themselves, it's not happening. I wish it would, but it won't. I mean, honestly, I could keep going on and on, but as a Knicks fan, the days of yonder are gone. When we had Carmelo Anthony, it was great, but the problem was I think he was misused in the ways that the Knicks could have done better. Honestly, when the Knicks went first for what's his face? I forgot the forward now. I forgot his name now. That shows you how well he was well known at that point. What was his name now? God dang it. Stoudemire. I mean, honestly, with Stoudemire, Sorry, I had to go in there and check it out. Stoudemire. When they signed for Stoudemire, I'm like, that was a stupid move. I mean, he needed a point guard. They had no point guard. When they got Carmelo, I'm like, all right, you got Carmelo, but you traded away half your futures. And the reality is, the Knicks could have waited and signed him as a free agent, but they didn't. They made the trade, which I think was a stupid move on their part. They should have waited for him to become a free agent, which was going to be next year, and they could have signed him. I think they were afraid that he was going to probably sign with Miami once LeBron went to Miami and they needed that. But honestly, as a Knicks fan, I would have waited for Carmelo to come in. You sign Carmelo, have those draft picks, you could have had more people. They lost, Lynn. Honestly, I think he's a fluke. That was a fluke thing, basically more than anything else. I don't think he was that great. I think he was overhyped, and I was happy that the Knicks let him go because you saw how he was per se. He was just like kind of your suboptimal role player more than anything else. But yeah, Chandler. I mean, he was good enough, but not great. And because of that, I think those were lost years for Carmelo Anthony. They could have done a lot more if they had the right coach. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Tom Thibodeau, but at the same time, I don't think he was built for this team that he has. He's a good coach. Let's be honest. He's a good coach. He knows what he needs to do, but I don't think this is the team for him. He's got to get the right players for his system. Unfortunately, he's not the right coach for the system. And unfortunately, the problem is like Randall. I would love for the Knicks to trade Randall, but they're not going to because they figured, hey, he's going to be good. Once he had that bust, once he bursted onto the scene with the Knicks, they're like, oh, okay, we don't need Thibodeau, Obi Toppin. Toppin, unfortunately, he's doing decent, but I don't think he's that superstar level that you're going to see like Halliburton was. If they had Halliburton, there's no Brunson. But the thing is, if you have Halliburton, then you could go for other players at that point, honestly. You could have had him and RJ Barrett together, could have complemented each other really well, I think. Honestly, I think with RJ Barrett and Halliburton together, I think they would have complemented each other really well, that they would have done really good at this point, honestly, as well, too. And then with Mitch Robinson, I mean, Robinson he's there as your role player. He's like a Bam Adebayo, but he's not at that level where he can score, but he can still be helpful. He reminds me more of a Bill Cartwright more than anything, like a Bill Cartwright, Horace Grant type of person. If the Knicks could get a Dennis Rodman type person with some players around, I think they could do really well then at that point. But that's not the case, unfortunately. But with that, I've been gone off for a little bit, so I'll leave it at that. Again, let me know your thoughts once this becomes permanent. Put your comment in the comment section. Leave a comment in the comment section, and I do read all my comments, and I do respond to them. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Or if you haven't followed on Twitch, please follow. But with that, I'll leave it at that. Unfiltered, unedited, and of